Welcome to the Chronically Awesome podcast with me, Katie Rose, recording my thoughts and realizations about the mind, the body, and all things woo-woo, looking at life through the lens of spirituality, and sharing things I believe should be taught to everyone so we can begin to heal the next generations, healing traumas, transcending the ego, and living an empowered, soul-led life of pure awesomeness.
Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Chronically Awesome podcast. You can go and grab a cup of tea if you wish, and you can sit down, enjoy it while I chat to you. I do love a good chat. It's why I do these episodes, just to get things off my chest. And today, I haven't been feeling my best self today. I am very sort of PMS-y, and my mood is like, don't approach me. Like, do not approach me, because if you do, you have to deal with the consequences of what will come out my mouth. And my husband's off today. He's never off, very rare, and he's off today, and he's like, I should have gone to work. I was like, yeah, sorry about me. So he's outside welding now. But I just felt like I wanted to get this kind of off my chest, because it's what I've been thinking about today as I've been sort of doing things for the business and making plans and things like that. So today we are going to talk about chronic illness and the symptoms of chronic illness, because so for me, when I say chronic illness, there are so many chronic illnesses out there. Like, chronic illness is basically a long-term illness that you've had for more than 6 months. So for me, it was ME, chronic fatigue syndrome. Then you've got fibro, you've got POTS, you've got diabetes, heart disease. There is literally so many things out there. So it's kind of covering all things. I'm not saying that this is the be all and end all, but I'm saying like about 95% of all symptoms has a root, has a reason for being there, and that you can heal it. That is my belief. That is my opinion. Obviously, if you don't believe that and you're not there yet, absolutely fine. Just leave that behind. And then if you find parts of this episode is like, oh, okay, I can get with the rest of it, fine. Just take what resonates, leave everything else behind. But I believe this. I didn't used to believe this at all, not even a little bit. But as I've gone on my sort of healing and I've learned so much, I realized how much was just traumas and kind of stuck in the body and just never addressed because we didn't know how to, because we're not taught the knowledge. We're not taught how to feel our emotions or to acknowledge things, to know that there's information coming into our body, into our minds. Even our spirit is affected as well. So that's kind of what I want to touch on is the symptoms. This, like, chronic illness is a symptom. Like, it is the end result. So for me, it was I had numerous symptoms. Like, we're looking at about 10 symptoms, probably more. But if I had to list them, there's so much, because it's just everything gets put into one category, and it's just like, oh, you have all these symptoms. We don't actually know what it is. So we're going to diagnose you with like ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, POTS. There's so many different things that you can be diagnosed because you've just got this lump sum of symptoms, but no tests are saying where they're coming from, why it's here. And the truth is, the symptom is there because something else has happened beforehand that then led to these symptoms appearing. And then your fixation becomes the symptom, because you're like, I don't want this. I don't want to feel like I can barely move. I don't want to feel this pain. I don't want to have tremors or spasms. I don't want anxiety. I don't want depression. So you become fixated on fixing the problem. But you're not broken. That's the issue. We keep seeing ourselves as broken, as something that needs fixing. But the truth is, we just need to heal. We need to find the wound. We need to find the trauma, the thing that caused it in the first place, the root cause. So when you start looking at your symptoms, when you start seeing things as, okay, I have this thing. So let's take chronic pain, for example. And then you go, so what does this do for me? Why have I got this? If we start looking into it, where does it lead us? Because it is surprising at where it leads you sometimes. So for me, chronic pain, it tended to appear when I was stressed. That was one thing I noticed. So once I started noticing, once I started having an awareness of things, it became easier to figure things out. It doesn't mean you have to get to the root cause there and then on this day you decide to start looking. But when you start bringing in an awareness to things, it starts to just kind of unravel things a little bit, and you start noticing things. So it took me a while to notice. It did. It took me a while to notice that, anytime I got stressed, the pain got worse. Or the fatigue got worse, or the tremors got worse. It was a variety of things, and it is layered, especially like ME and fibro and things like that. It's very layered. There's so much to it. But really it all comes back to one thing, deeper within you, in your sort of the subconscious mind, in the body that we're just not looking at. We missed the signs. We missed the information that was kind of alerting us like, hello, look at this. This is not right. Something's not feeling right. Please pay attention to me. But we're not taught that that's a thing. Like, we should be even looking out for these things. So we don't address it, or we think, we'll just keep going. I can't stop. I've got to keep going. I can't stop working because I need money. And there's all these different things where you just keep pushing. So you're just holding all of this information that then has nowhere to go because it's not being addressed. There is no attention to it. So it just stays and hovers and sticks into your body, into your energy. And over time, the more and more you ignore it, eventually it builds until you physically feel a symptom like chronic pain, because it is deeply entwined into your nervous system. So the nervous system, it's big, it can be complicated, but everything that I have learned and researched always seems to come back to the nervous system being dysregulated, because the nervous system is like connected to your brain, and it spreads out literally through your entire body. It sends messages, it receives messages from the body. When you have an emotion, you feel it in the body first before any sort of thought process is intertwined with it. You feel it first. When something happens, like say something dramatic is happening in front of you, and it's like, it's a bit shocking. There is a physical reaction that happens first. There is something that you feel in your body. There's an emotion that is happening. That is the first thing that happens before your mind goes, and names the feeling or feels the feeling, and then kind of merges it into previous feelings and emotions and events and situations that have happened in the past, going all the way back to your childhood, from even before you were born. There is so much information stored within you. And when things aren't addressed as you're growing up, you've held those things in. When you feel a similar emotion to the event that's happened before, it triggers that. So then your reaction to whatever is happening in front of you will be based on those previous experiences that you've had before. It's like your body feels it, your mind goes, it's like it takes it like kind of pulls it in and goes, yes, we know this feeling. Let's search the categories. Let's search our library of information of where this fits and where it is most suited. So in your brain just has everything in it. Like you literally have all your life stored within you, but that also includes your emotions, the unresolved emotions, and the traumas that haven't been faced. So when it takes that thing, that emotion, and it goes into your library of stuff, it tries to place it with something that is a similar emotion, maybe a similar event, and then it pulls that. So then it's like, okay, this happened last time and this is how you reacted. So it's pulling that information, it's pulling that program, and it just repeats these programs that is stored with it, because it's like stuck. It's on, like, it's like you press a button and the button's broken and it just stays on. And then you are just repeating these programs over and over again because you're not aware that you're even running the program, because it's subconscious. You don't choose to react like that in that moment. It's an automatic response that happens because of previous programming, because of previous experiences, and because there's unresolved issues and things that have not been addressed. So I don't even know if I'm explaining this all that well. I hope I am. So there is this connection between the mind and the body and the body and the mind. Also, the spirit is all so intertwined. You know, like your spirit is feeling shitty when you're like anxiety, depression, especially, like you can really feel out of balance. But then if you're with people that make you feel great, your spirit can be lifted and you feel good. So it's all connected and it's all interwoven as one thing. But until you decide to look at things differently, until you decide that you want to change, then nothing else will change. You have to make that conscious effort to do it for yourself. And that means, unfortunately, facing things that make you feel really uncomfortable. But it is worth it, because do you want to feel this way? Do you want to have those symptoms? Do you want to have a chronic illness? Or do you want something different? You stay where you are because it is what you know. It is comfortable to you. And those previous experiences that got categorized in that library before, at one point, it was helping you. At one point, that coping mechanism, that survival strategy helped you. It was good. You needed it at that specific time. However, like I say, it's like a button gets stuck on. And then that's when symptoms start arising. That's when you become sick. So to really work on undoing the symptoms, undoing what you're feeling, experiencing, and having to survive through, you do need to look at things in a different light. You need to go, okay, so what does this give me? When I had chronic pain and I asked myself, what's the purpose of this? Well, if I have pain, then I'll have attention from my husband. I've shared this many a time before. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, I'm such an attention seeker, when I realized that's what I was doing. And when I then asked myself, but why am I attention seeking? What is the purpose of gaining attention? Well, then he will be here with me. He will hug me. He will love me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the purpose of having chronic pain, when you start looking at the purpose of all these things, what is it giving me? What does it do for me? What is the actual thing that I get out of this? Because there's always a reason. There's always a positive there somewhere. But you've got to start questioning and looking at things and turning it around in your mind and going, okay, yeah, but what is it? What do I get? What is it that I feel is what I get out of this? And for me, it was attention, it was love, it was just needing a hug. So much of it was just needing a hug. I just wanted a hug from my husband, but I didn't know how to ask for that. I didn't know that's what I wanted, because I didn't know that the information my body was receiving is saying, you need a hug. I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have that information to hand. All my mind knew was, okay, the last time we had this emotion, the last time we felt this was when we had pain. So now we need to have some pain, because when we had pain, we had attention. When we had attention, we felt loved. And that is what we feel we are missing right now, is this sense of feeling loved and safe and secure. Okay. So now, do I need to have pain every time I want to experience this love to feel safe? No, I don't want to experience that. So what can I do differently? I can ask for a hug. So this is what I started doing, and it was powerful, because what was happening before is when I wasn't getting the attention from the pain that I was in, because it became the norm, it became something we went through every day, and I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted. So my body would go, okay, so we need more pain, because you're not getting what you need here. You're still not getting love. So if I give you more pain, that means you will then have love. You will then have the attention that you're wanting. So when I decided, when I made the decision, when I chose something different for myself, my pain reduced. Because one, I had an awareness. I didn't have to do much else than have awareness. That in itself allowed my pain to drop, which was just crazy to me. Like, it blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie, it really did blow my mind. I was like, it can't be that simple. But we overcomplicate everything. It can be that simple if you choose to look. Like, it was uncomfortable to know that I was attention seeking. But then when I was like, well, why am I attention seeking? There's got to be something else there. There's got to be a purpose to that as well. And you just dig deeper and deeper until you're like, That's what it is. And the majority of the time will come down to this sense of needing to feel loved and safe, that security, to be okay where you are, to know that nothing bad is going to happen to you, because that is what your mind's telling you over and over again. Something bad is going to happen. You know this. You have an illness. There's always something that's going to go wrong. You can't get any better. And you have all these intrusive thoughts. But when you start flipping it and you're like, let's just look a little deeper here. Let's just get curious. Then everything becomes a whole different ballgame. And then I started doing it with all my symptoms and figuring them out. And it was fascinating. It really was. So that's why I wanted to share it, because if that's not anything you've ever done before, but you are suffering, why not investigate? Why not look a little deeper and just see what comes up? See where it leads you, and then see the difference in your body and how you're feeling. So like I've shared some things that I do, the questioning side of stuff, but sometimes it's a case of feeling, because if you are anything like I didn't know my feelings. I didn't know the emotions that I was experiencing. So a lot of it was just feeling and crying. Like there was a lot of crying when I felt it, and I just sat there and allowed myself to feel and nothing else, just feel it. No investigating, no questioning, just going, okay, I'm honoring this feeling, I'm here, and all the tears would come out, and I would proper sob, snots the lot. It'd be like proper like somebody giving me the worst news of my life. But it wasn't. It was just that was that much energy and that much emotion stored up in me that was being ignored, that it just kind of was overwhelming when I finally gave myself permission to go, yeah, I'm going to honor you today. I'm going to let you just be here. So in fact, take a moment with me now, and we'll do a little sort of meditation in a way, I suppose. You can close your eyes, or you can just listen, whatever feels the most comfortable for you, but just taking a moment. And I want you just to kind of maybe bring your hands to your heart if you feel called to do that, but just settling into your body, your shoulders relaxing, connecting with your breath, just becoming aware of your breath, not changing anything, just noticing how it feels. And as you do that, just become aware of how your body is feeling. Is it heavy? Is it tired? Maybe you feel a bit more energetic today. Maybe you've got more energy than you usually do. Just let your mind drift to an area in your body. Just think of the first place, just feel into wherever it is. Maybe you see an image in your head of somewhere in your body. Maybe you physically feel it in your body. Maybe you just have a knowing that this is it. This is where it is. I just know it. Just feel into that space. Connect with it. And then just feel it. What is there? How does it make you feel? Is there an emotion that wants to kind of come up and say hi? Just feeling it and allowing it to come up bigger and bigger. Opening up the space for it. Opening up your energy so it can move through you, out of you, moving further and further away from you. Maybe you need to connect with your breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just letting it go. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then just sitting in that energy again. Your awareness going back to that space. Noticing how it feels now. And just letting it appear however it needs to appear. Sometimes you might have memories, thoughts, things coming up in your mind, and that's because you're just opening that space. And the thing about your mind is it will only present you with something that you are ready to release, that you are able to deal with, that you are able to move through. Your mind will never present you with something that is going to cause you any harm, because its main directive is to protect you at all times. So know whatever you're feeling, whatever is coming up, is supposed to be here today, and you're just honoring yourself. Just accepting where you are, accepting what's coming up, accepting how you feel without any judgment at all. And if you feel you find yourself judging yourself or intrusive thoughts coming up, just remind yourself and repeat, I did the best I could with the resources that I had at the time. I did the best I could with the resources that I had at the time. I am safe, I am protected, and I am always loved. I am safe, I am protected, and I am always loved. I am safe, I am protected, and I am always loved. And then just imagine the energy flowing out of you, moving away from you, releasing all the last little bits that want to be released today. And then think of a colour, first colour that comes to mind. See that colour in your mind's eye. See it as this energy freely moving, building, growing, becoming bigger and bigger. And it starts to come towards you, entering through your heart, moving up through your neck, your shoulders, your arms, into your head, out through the top of your head. Energy starts to move down into your chest, down into your torso, down your spine, into your hips, down through your legs, and out through your feet, connecting you to the ground. This new energy, give it a name. How does it make you feel as you connect with this new, wonderful, more vibrant, positive energy? And then when you feel that, just feel it flowing through you. Feel that love. Feel that energy growing and growing through your whole body, and then expanding out through your body as well. Just encircling you, encasing you, hugging you. And then thank yourself for giving yourself this time to feel, to experience, and to begin to build a connection with your body and your emotions. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So that's just like a lovely, simple thing to do. Just taking a few minutes to honor yourself, honor your feelings, and just see what arises. And from there, maybe, you can dig deeper if you feel there's more to go through. You can do the self-inquiry where you're asking questions. You can seek professional help to help you move through things. There is also obviously talking therapies as well, and getting things out. Journaling is another good one. There's just so many things out there that you can do to help yourself to use every day. There are tools and techniques out there that you can do to simply add into your day, but also find peace and calm within yourself as you work through this journey to coming back to yourself, coming back to wholeness, coming back to the awesomeness that you are, and just honoring. There's so much honoring that needs to be done. No judgment, never judgment, because that's not healing. Healing is going, okay, I see you, I honor you, and we're going to do better. We're going to choose differently. I understand that this was needed at a time, but it is not needed now. And then choose something different. I know it can sound so simple, like, oh, as if it's that easy. Yeah, there is hard work that can be put into this, and you can go as deep as you want into healing, but you can also make it as simple as you want. Like, the simpler you make it, the easier it is as well. Like, we overcomplicate everything. It can be as easy as just connecting with your breath and then doing that and focusing on that, deepening your practice with it, learning how to move through breath work. Go to somebody that is qualified to hold space for you and go through a breath work practice. And it's fascinating and it's powerful and it is life-changing, but you have to be open to trying it. You have to be open to the possibility that you can heal. That is hard. I didn't want to believe that. I was like, no, I'm safe here in this limiting belief that this is it forever. But then when you start pushing the boundaries and you start seeing that there's a difference in your energy, in how you feel, in your symptoms, it can get addictive, because then you're like, oh, what else can I do? Can I have more of my life back? Oh, this is a better quality of life. That's all I'm wanting. What else can I get? What else can I do? What else can I try? And it's great. It really is. Like, I love to learn though. So I love all that sort of stuff. So you could go down a rabbit hole and learn things for yourself. But I can't stress enough how important sometimes it is to look for professional help, to seek out somebody that can hold a safe space for you, especially if you're going into more like bigger traumas and things that are a lot heavier, that you need that extra support and you need somebody to guide you through it. But then for the smaller stuff, the things that aren't quite so heavy and what can feel overwhelming, there are things like just focusing on the symptom alone and just figuring out what it gives you can be a great place to start. And then you can go to somebody after that and go, right, I have done this part of the work. I need you to help me now to move through the next part. So yes, that's what I wanted to share today. It just felt like I needed to get that out. I'm not entirely sure. I'll obviously listen to this back, but I'm not entirely sure how well it came across, how well I explained some of it. It felt a bit like tongue-tied, and yes. So let me know your thoughts on the episode, if you took something away, if you enjoyed the sort of mini meditation. So that's kind of what I wanted to share today. It was just something I felt like was on my chest that I wanted to get out. I like to do it when I'm feeling it there and then, because if I go, I'll do it tomorrow, sometimes other things come up, and this is how I end up not doing podcast episodes because I'm like, oh yes, I'll do that later. So I try and do it when I'm feeling it as best I can. And I do work, everything I do is very intuitive. So it's about feeling the emotions there and then, because I'm in that energy and that is the frequency I'm in to then share what I'm sharing. Whereas if I say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, that is going to be a different energy that I'm in tomorrow. So you can even take that as a little reminder for yourself when you're like, oh, I'll do that work tomorrow. I'll listen to that podcast episode tomorrow. Oh, I'll do that meditation tomorrow. Oh, I'll inquire into my symptoms tomorrow. But there's something in you right now that's going, oh, I'd love to understand that. I'd love to take a bit of time. Make the time for yourself. You can't give to other people. You can't give to anybody if you are not able to serve yourself, if you're not able to look after yourself. You are the priority. You are the person that needs the attention, the love, the safety, the security. You will just burn yourself out more and more if you keep trying to do stuff for the kids, for your husband, for your family, or whatever it may be, because you feel like you have to people please. You have to make sure everyone else is happy. But you can't give everything you want to give if you are not looking after yourself first. So how can you be that mum you want to be? How can you be the wife you want to be if you're not being who you need to be for yourself? You're showing up in an energy that is inconsistent. It is no longer unique to who you are. It is not authentic. And whoever you are serving will feel that you're not showing up fully because you're not filled up. You're not a fully working battery right now. You are depleted, and you've got to allow that time for yourself to prioritize you. So I shall leave it there, my loves. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and hopefully you will come back for the next one. Have a wonderful week, my loves.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. If you did, please share on social media, or if you'd like to share your thoughts with me directly, then you can message me at HopeLightUK on Instagram. And if you haven't done so already, hit the follow button to follow the podcast for more awesomeness, and I'll see you here next time.